Rach, do you have a minute? I need to talk to you about something.
Sorry, I'm kind of busy right now. Can we talk later?
It's really important. Can't you spare just 5 minutes?
Actually, I'm dealing with something serious right now.
Oh, did something happen?
Actually, Mark suddenly disappeared. When I got home from work, all his things were gone. No note, and he won't answer any of my calls.
That's so strange. Have you tried calling his workplace?
They said he called in sick today. I've been trying his phone for hours.
You're so desperate. Don't worry, Rachel. Mark's fine. He's with me right now.
What?
Actually, we've decided to get married. So I'm taking Mark from you. That's what I wanted to tell you.
Is this some kind of joke? You're not making any sense.
No joke. We're in love.
What? You're kidding, right? What do you mean you're in love and you're getting married?
Wow, Rachel, you're totally freaking out.
Of course I am. My husband disappeared and now my sister is saying she's marrying him?
When you put it that way, it sounds so dramatic.
This isn't funny. Marriage, and with all his stuff gone, does this mean you two eloped?
Yeah, isn't it romantic? Like something out of a movie.
You can't be serious. Sophie, where are you right now? We need to talk about this in person.
No can do. We're already far away.
Seriously?
I mean, everyone would probably be against our marriage anyway, so we had no choice. We are two lovers running away from a world that won't accept our relationship.
Don't give me that crap. He's just running away because he doesn't want to take responsibility. There's nothing romantic about this.
Really? We were having such a great time, though.
How long has this been going on? Have you two been seeing each other behind my back?
Does it matter now? We're together, and that's what counts.
It matters to me. I'm your sister, and he's my husband.
Was your husband, past tense.
Both of you need to come back right now. If you really want to marry Mark, come back together and explain this to me properly. Otherwise, I won't sign the divorce papers.
No need for that. I already submitted the divorce papers myself.
What?
I know how to forge your signature. Sorry, but I helped myself to using it.
Wait, Mark, is that really you?
Yeah, sorry for suddenly disappearing from home, but you'll understand, right? You'll quietly step aside for your husband's happiness, won't you?
Is this really happening? Are you actually asking me to just accept this?
Come on, Rachel, you're always so understanding.
I don't understand at all. How long have you been seeing Sophie? Of all people, why would you elope with your wife's sister?
Can't help it, can I? It was love at first sight.
What?
On your wedding day, I fell head over heels for Sophie.
On our wedding day?
Oh, if only I'd met her earlier, then I could have canceled the wedding just in time. Even I didn't have the courage to cancel it on the actual day.
Are you telling me you married me while being in love with my sister?
It's complicated. I thought I could make it work with you.
She didn't even come to the family meeting before the wedding. She's always been irresponsible, never holding down a real job and just doing whatever she wants. She even forgets important events and cancels at the last minute.
That's exactly what makes her so adorable. That free-spirited nature is why I fell for Sophie.
No way.
You know what your problem is, Rachel? You're too predictable.
Predictable?
I've always been too serious, and I always thought that made me boring. That's why I decided to marry you, Rachel, because you were serious too. But I finally realized what I really need is someone wild and free-spirited.
And that was Sophie.
Yeah, she's my soulmate. That's why I'm gonna live freely and happily with Sophie. I decided to quit my job and everything to run away with her.
What? You quit your job just for this?
Wow, we need a fresh start, away from everything.
You're throwing away your entire career? Your pension? Everything?
That's what eloping is all about, right? That's why we haven't told our parents or anyone else yet.
Are you serious?
Totally. We're gonna live life on our own terms.
This isn't living life on your own terms. This is running away from responsibility.
Yeah. Anyway, you can handle things on your end. We're gonna find a new place and start our life together. Take care.
Mark? Don't you dare ignore me now! Sophie? Are either of you going to answer me? Fine, go ahead and run, but don't come crying when reality hits.
Rachel, I'm heading home from my parents' house. They gave us lots of homemade food, so could you just make some side salad for dinner?
Oh, that's wonderful! Your mom's cooking is always so delicious. It's such a help that they watched Lily for the entire day, too.
They absolutely adore her. She's been showing them all her new drawings.
She's getting so good with her crayons, isn't she?
My parents were so happy to see her. It's been ages since they last spent an entire day together. And Lily was showing off her new wheelchair to them. She looked like she was having so much fun.
Did she do her little wheelchair tricks for them? She's been practicing so hard.
She did. Mom almost had a heart attack when she did her spin move.
I'm so grateful your parents are so understanding. When Lily got sick right after birth and we were told she needed a wheelchair, I was prepared for them not being accepting.
Hey, don't think about those worries anymore. We're past that.
I know, but sometimes I still can't believe how lucky we are.
For my parents, a grandchild is precious no matter what, and your parents love her just as much.
You're right. I'm nothing but grateful to my parents, too.
Lily is living such a happy life, being loved by so many people. Yes, she has challenges because of her condition, but she's just like any other kid, and that's more than enough.
Jack, you always know exactly what to say.
Well, I guess that's just me being optimistic. The truth is, there are people with prejudices out there, like that weird person who bothered us today.
What? What weird person?
Nothing too serious, don't worry.
Jack, tell me what happened.
We were taking a break at the park on our way to my parents'. There was this person just staring at us. I thought maybe they knew us, so I nodded hello. Then they suddenly came closer, stared at Lily and her wheelchair, sighed, and walked away.
What? How rude!
I wanted to say something, but I didn't want to make a scene.
Was Lily upset?
Lily was asleep in her wheelchair and didn't notice anything.
Nothing else happened? No one got hurt?
We just got stared at, that's all. But be careful if you go to that park. That person might be there again.
Did you get a good look at them? Should we avoid that park completely?
They were wearing a hat and sunglasses, but something about them seemed familiar.
Familiar? Do you think it was someone we know?
Maybe, but let's not worry about it now.
Okay, I understand. For now, just come home quickly. Let's heat up your mom's food and eat.
I'll be there in 10 minutes. Love ya.
Love you too. Drive safe.
Long time no see. How are you doing, Rachel?
Sophie? Why are you suddenly contacting me after being out of touch for so long?
What? Can't a sister check in?
We haven't been sisters since you ran away with my husband.
Still bitter about that. It's been years.
What do you want, Sophie?
Well, I heard some shocking news, so I just had to reach out.
What?
I mean, I had to confirm it myself. Couldn't believe what I was hearing.
Just say what you want to say.
I heard you remarried and have a kid now, but apparently your kid is sick and needs a wheelchair?
Is that the shocking news? What's it to you if my daughter uses a wheelchair? It's none of your business.
Wow, that reaction confirms it's true. Rachel, you're really living quite the dramatic, pitiful life, aren't you?
Excuse me?
Come on, don't be so cold. I'm worried about my niece.
She's not your niece. You gave up any right to family when you chose to betray me.
Don't get defensive. I'm just stating facts.
Facts? What facts?
That you are pretty pathetic. I mean, think about it. Your sister stole your husband, leaving you at rock bottom. Then you desperately climbed back up and got married, finally finding happiness. Only to have a child who needs a wheelchair. Talk about falling back to rock bottom again. How tragic.
Hey, don't just decide I'm pathetic. I'm perfectly happy.
Huh?
Don't act surprised. Did you expect me to be miserable?
Well, aren't you?
I met and married a kind and sincere husband, and I'm incredibly happy. We were blessed with an adorable daughter, and every day is truly fulfilling. Don't assume things when you haven't even been around these past few years.
Stop putting on a brave face. A kid in a wheelchair is just a burden and nuisance, right?
Don't you dare talk about my daughter that way.
I'm just being realistic here. I mean, she's not normal, is she?
Not at all. Yes, Lily needs support, but she's absolutely adorable and every day is amazing. She's just like every other kid on the block. She's growing up beautifully and is loved by her father and everyone around her.
Growing up beautifully is something you say about kids developing normally, like my child with Mark, for example.
Wait, child? Are you and Mark still together? Things are going well enough between you guys that you started a family?
Why do you sound so surprised?
Given how you two started...
Don't act like we broke up. We got married right after and we're still super happy. We recently had a baby too, so we're more in love than ever.
Well, that's nice. I'm glad you're both happy.
But you know, even though we're in love, I'm still unemployed. And Mark's only been doing temp work since then. We're really struggling with money.
That's not surprising, considering how you two live.
What's that supposed to mean?
So you really are living freely and having fun. It must be tough being short on money, but this is the path you chose. Don't complain and just work it out together.
We are working together. That's why we discussed it and decided to ask you guys for hand-me-down baby stuff.
What?
I mean, you have baby things you're not using anymore, right?
You have some nerve.
But who would have thought you'd have a kid in a wheelchair? I saw your kid yesterday at the park, and it's quite different from a stroller. Doesn't look like we can use any of that stuff. What a letdown.
Yesterday at the park. So that was you who came up to my husband and stared at my daughter?
Oh, so he told you about that? I was trying to see if the rumors were true.
Rumors? You've been gossiping about my daughter?
I just heard some stuff from the grapevine. I also got a good look at your new husband. He's kind of plain and boring, isn't he? A miserable woman and a dull man. No wonder they had a disabled child.
What did you say?
Just being honest. You know me, always speaking my mind.
You haven't changed at all. Still cruel and thoughtless.
Meanwhile, our baby is a total angel. Maybe it's because we're parents who live freely without stress. I could let you meet our kid, but seeing them next to your wheelchair-bound child might make you cry.
I wouldn't make any comparisons, but since you're mocking our child, what about your situation? A mother who had no problem stealing someone's husband and a father who ran away from his responsibilities. Your child is the one I feel sorry for.
You just don't get it. The world is survival of the fittest. Aren't we good parents for teaching that?
What?
And then there's you guys with a child in a wheelchair. Your miserable life just got more miserable. My condolences.
Do you know who my husband is?
Huh?
You seem to know so much about us, but do you really know anything?
What are you talking about?
I don't care if you mock me, but making fun of my husband and daughter is a different story. My husband is actually a lawyer.
A lawyer? That plain-looking guy?
Appearances can be deceiving, something you clearly haven't learned.
So what if he's a lawyer? Are you trying to scare me?
And specifically, a civil rights lawyer. He's quite experienced with cases like this.
Cases like what? I haven't done anything wrong.
Discrimination, harassment, defamation. Ring any bells?
What?
You mocked his daughter in a wheelchair and insulted me, his wife. I'm going to have my lawyer husband handle this properly.
Wait a minute. Handle this? You mean you're going to sue me?
Now you're catching on.
You wouldn't dare. We're family.
Family? That's rich coming from you.
Don't be ridiculous. I haven't done anything illegal. Don't get cocky just because you married a lawyer.
What? Don't tell me you don't know about defamation laws.
Of course I know about them, but I heard messages on chat apps don't count as defamation.
Oh, you've been researching this?
Everyone knows this stuff. For a lawyer's wife, you sure don't know much. This kind of thing isn't illegal unless it's in front of a large audience.
Wow, you know quite a bit. Yet isn't it funny how people still cross the line thinking they won't get caught? Did you think it was okay as long as nobody found out? Did you really think I wouldn't do anything after you stared at me and my daughter in the park?
What?
Nice to meet you. Well, technically it's our second meeting after the park. I'm Jack, Rachel's husband and a lawyer.
Rachel's husband? Wait, what are you doing? Why are you messaging with my sister's phone?
Rachel showed me your messages. I have to say I'm quite disturbed by your behavior.
This is a private conversation.
Rachel gave me permission. Anyway, back to your conversation. You're right, Sophie. One-on-one conversations usually aren't legally actionable. Frustrating as it is, we can't sue over insults in private messages. However, recent law changes mean posts on public social media can be prosecuted.
Public social media? What?
Would you like me to be more specific?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Even from anonymous accounts. Sophie, you have an anonymous social media account, don't you? Where you posted photos of me and my daughter with the caption, "My sister's kid is messed up. Some people shouldn't be allowed to become parents."
What? How did you find my account? And how did you know it was me when it's anonymous?
After meeting you in the park, I heard a camera sound. Given my line of work, I'm pretty good at investigating these things. Found your account right after.
That's impossible. No way. I need to delete it right now.
That won't help. I've already saved screenshots and web archives as evidence. The fact that you posted it won't disappear.
You can't prove it was me.
The metadata from your photos says otherwise. Plus, your posting history matches perfectly with your movements.
This can't be happening!
And as you know, this counts as defamation in front of a public audience. Legally speaking, that's a violation. They're particularly strict about cyberbullying cases these days. We'll be taking appropriate action.
No way. You mean since a lawyer is suing me, I'll have to pay damages?
That's usually how it goes, yes. Freedom of action and freedom of speech come with responsibility. What a wonderful lesson to teach your child.
Please, there must be something we can do.
You'll be hearing from my office formally tomorrow.
Rachel, please, talk to your husband.
Goodbye, Sophie. Rachel, I got some new information. Looks like Sophie and Mark have quite a bit of debt.
How bad is it?
From what I could find, they've maxed out multiple credit cards.
That doesn't surprise me.
There's more. They've been taking out payday loans.
Come to think of it, she did mention they were struggling with money. That's why they wanted our child's hand-me-downs.
Actually, it might be worse than that. They might have been planning to sell anything they got from us.
What? Why do you think that?
I found some of their posts on selling sites. They've been selling everything they can get their hands on. And remember how they eloped? Apparently, they recently moved back here looking for work. I heard Mark tried to get his old job back but was rejected, and he made quite a scene in front of the company.
Seriously?
Something about them discriminating against his life choices. It didn't go well.
Well, looks like they're in quite a tight spot.
That's putting it mildly. They've been evicted twice in the past year.
Twice? I had no idea things were that bad.
Maybe I shouldn't have revealed that I'm a lawyer. When people hear lawyer, they often think rich. They might try to take advantage of that.
You think they might try something?
They're desperate enough. We should be careful.
Though that's not really the case. You keep your fees reasonable.
That's because I want to help people who really need it, not people trying to avoid responsibility for their actions.
Do you think they'll try to contest the lawsuit?
Let's stay cautious for a while. Maybe we should hold off on going to the park, too.
Got it. Thanks for looking into all this.
Of course, it's for my precious wife and daughter. Well, I'm going back to work.
Take care. I'll make sure all the doors are locked.
Don't worry too much. Just be aware of your surroundings.
I will. Love you.
Love you too. See you tonight. Rachel, help me out here. We're really struggling with money. Could you lend us some cash for living expenses?
I hear you have debt.
So you know about that? Well, thank goodness that makes this easier.
Makes what easier?
Look, I know we haven't talked in years, but I really need help.
And you think I'm the person to ask?
Yeah, and if you know about the debt, that makes this easier. See, I thought being serious was boring, so I've only been working 3 days a week.
Only 3 days? No wonder your income is low. Sure, you have more free time, but...
I thought it would be great, living freely, following my dreams.
And how's that working out?
But free time is just boring when you're broke. Actually, I ended up shopping to kill time. The debt kept growing bit by bit. Before I knew it, we were almost 50 grand in debt.
That much?
I didn't mean for it to get this bad.
How did you let it get to this point?
Living freely is fun, but tough. There's all this responsibility. When I asked friends for help, they said it was my own fault. Maybe I was better off just working steadily like before.
Now you realize that?
I've learned my lesson. I really have.
Well, then take that lesson and work hard. I'm not lending you any money.
Please, Rachel, for old time's sake.
Old times? You mean when you forged my signature and ran off with my sister?
Come on, help us out. We just lost all our savings. I went to the casino with our last bit of money hoping for a big win, but lost everything.
You're gambling now? You used to be such a responsible person. Now you're like a completely different person.
That's what I'm saying. I want to go back to how I was.
The person you were wouldn't have asked his ex-wife for money.
But I've decided to go back to my old self, so please help me out. Your lawyer husband must have decent money.
Is that why you're really messaging me? Because you found out Jack's a lawyer?
No, well, maybe a little.
That doesn't mean we have any obligation to help you. You chose to abandon me and live however you wanted. If you got into debt because of that, take responsibility and pay it back yourself.
But, Rachel, please, think about Sophie. Think about our baby.
I've cut ties with Sophie, and you've been nothing but a stranger to me since our divorce. So don't contact me again. If you keep reaching out, I'm taking this to my husband too.
What?
Get it? Don't contact me again. If you want to live freely, take full responsibility for it. If you can't do that, don't talk about freedom.
You've become really cold, Rachel.
No, I've become strong. Goodbye, Mark.
Wait!
You really sued? $50,000 for cyberbullying? I have to pay this much just for some social media posts?
You received the legal documents, I see.
This is insane. No one gets sued this much for a few posts.
If you have a problem with it, you can fight it in court. Just follow the proper procedures and good luck.
Fight in court? That's impossible. Going against a practicing lawyer. Plus, we don't even have money to hire our own lawyer.
You should have thought about that before posting those things.
How can you do this to me? To us?
The same way you did what you did to me.
Can't we work something out between sisters?
It's not my problem to deal with.
What? Of course it's your problem. You're doing this to us.
Whether you're in debt, being sued, or struggling with money, none of that matters to me. You reap what you sow. Take responsibility for your own actions.
How can you say that? Your own sister is suffering so much. Begging for help and you won't even help me.
Don't you dare play the sister card. Not after stealing my husband. You're not my sister anymore. Got it? Don't contact me again.
You're just being vindictive now.
No, I'm letting you experience consequences.
What about your niece? Don't you care about her at all?
Using your child as a shield now? That's low, even for you.
But, Rachel...
Good luck with the lawsuit. Sophie and Mark showed up at Jack's law office and immediately dropped into a groveling apology. They kept apologizing until right before closing time and finally settled for $20,000 in damages. But even that amount was really tough for them. They had to sell everything they owned except their baby things to pay it all at once. After that, they disappeared again. Word is they tried asking both their families for help but got turned away, and none of their friends would help them either. Now they're supposedly starting from scratch somewhere where nobody knows them. I heard from Mom that Sophie finally got a real job, and Mark is working full-time again. Maybe they finally learned their lesson about responsibility. But it's too late for us to ever be family again. As for us, Lily just started kindergarten. She's made so many friends, and her teachers say she's one of the brightest in her class. Jack and I couldn't be prouder. Sometimes I think about how things turned out. Sophie thought I was the one living a tragic life, but I'm the one who's truly happy. I have a loving husband, a beautiful daughter, and a life full of joy. I guess sometimes the best revenge is just living well.
Thank you for watching all the way until the end. If you felt good after watching this video, please like the video. If not, please leave a comment and give us your feedback. Also, don't forget to subscribe. Your comments and likes help this channel grow. We hope you enjoy our other stories as well.